Hi everyone, today Simon and I are going to explain you the difference between present perfect and present perfect progressive. Let's get started. First of all, both of the tense are used to explain an action that began in the past and is still going on or has just finished.
In many cases, both forms are correct, but there is often a difference of meaning. We use the present perfect mainly to express that an action is complete or to put emphasis on the result, and we use the present perfect progressive to emphasize the duration or the continuous course of an action.
In the present perfect, the most important part of the sentence is the action and not the time. For example, I have been to this grocery store 7 times. The emphasis is on that the person went to the grocery instead how many times she went to this place.
Also, we use the present perfect progressive to put emphasis on the duration. For example, Simon has been eating his banana for an hour and a half. We use the present perfect progressive to put the emphasis on the hour and a half instead of eating his banana.
Also, there's another use for the present perfect that is to put the emphasis on the complete action. For example, I have finished my chocolate cupcakes, means that my action is now complete.
In the present perfect progressive, we use it to explain that the action is still continuing. Example, I have been cooking. That means that I was cooking and I'm still cooking.
There's also another use for each verb tense that depends on your initial intention. For the present perfect is the desired result. For example, I have washed the dishes. That means that now the dishes are clean and it was my intention to clean it.
And we use it also in the present perfect progressive. If you want to say that your initial action, there is an unwanted side effect to your initial intention. So, for example, why there is flour all over the kitchen, I have been cooking a panini. We use it to say that my initial action was to cook a panini, and the unwanted side effect is that there is flour all over the kitchen.
Yes. If you use these verb tense in the negative form for the present perfect, it's like since the last time. For example, I haven't took this plate for supper for many years. That means that it took a long time before I used the same plate.
And in the present perfect progressive, we use it to say that it's since the beginning of the action. Like Simon hasn't been cooking for 5 minutes and the fire is already taken in the kitchen.
Also, there isn't a rule but more an unwritten convention. That means that if you don't know which tense to take, you can say that the present perfect is for permanent action and the present perfect progressive is for temporary action. For example, of the present perfect, Simon has cooked at this restaurant for 15 years.
And in the present perfect progressive, Simon has been cooking at this restaurant for 3 months.
The form of present perfect is you need to take a pronoun, I, you, he, we, you, they, and add have or has, and add the verb at the infinitive plus ed. But this is just mean for a past tense. So if it's eat, you don't add ed to eat, you just take at. Ate. Example, I have cooked plus ed, that means I have cooked.
The form of present perfect progressive. So the pronoun like he, you, he, we, you, they. Then you have you had, have, or has, and been, and the verb plus eng. So for example, I have been eating. So I have been eating.
There's also exception.
Yes. You cannot choose the present perfect progressive with the verb in link with heart, head, including sense and have or be, except for possession. So we cannot use them for taste, think, love, understand, etc. Also, there is no equivalent when the action happened in an unspecified time in the past.
Sometimes it's the same for present perfect and present perfect progressive, but for these verbs, teach, work, live, or study, you cannot take it at the present perfect progressive form. That is our bibliography, and thank you for listening.
Us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.